Hello Capricorn, welcome to Higher Source Tarot for your February mid-month 2020 tarot check for all Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus and Capricorn. So how are you guys? I hope you're off to a great start here in February, and if you had anything fun come into your creation, let me know. So I'm glad we're here today to co-create together and to see what energies might be aligning for you. I really appreciate everyone who's subscribed, liked, commented, and shared my videos. Thank you so much for doing that. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe and hit the bell if you want to be notified when new videos are posted, which is generally at least every other week, if not every week. So so I'm having fun with this and enjoying all your comments, and thank you so much for doing that and supporting my channel. So here we go for Capricorn, February, mid-month 2020 tarot check for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for Capricorn. Here we go. So somebody asked a comment about why most of the readers have such positive readings, and what I'll tell you about that is it's the energy of the cards, and the Rider-Waite deck is all about the Fool's Journey, which represents your soul. So your soul is not put on the earth to suffer. That's our own humanity that does that. It's our ego that does that. And generally when we're suffering, it's because we are out of alignment with the way the source inside us sees our lives or sees our situation. So as long as you see things as events that are happening for you and not to you, you won't have to have all the negativity in your life. So that's why, because we're reading the cards. The cards were not written necessarily to present suffering. There are some cards that are darker, or they're painful, or they're about sorrow, but that doesn't mean you have to live there, okay? So life loves you. This is a Louise Hay card. Love speaks to me all through the day. Oh, I hope it does. Of course it does. When you don't know what to do, focus on love. Love is an infinite intelligence that will always help you if you let it. Very true. That's the highest vibrational frequency, that of love. So we talk about beingness, right? What is a human being, not a human doing? What does that really mean? Well, you bring your beingness with you everywhere you go. So if you're of a vibrational frequency of resentment and anger and hostility, you bring that into every situation. Or if it's fear or doubt or worry, you bring that into every situation. But if it's love, compassion, joy, understanding, clarity, you bring that too. So here we go. So interesting, your present position is the Three of Hearts, but there's an offer around it. So the immediate influence, the Page of Pentacles. This could be your goal, wanting more options with the Seven of Cups. In the distant past, you do have Judgment here, so there was a decision. More recent past, you had some uncertainty with the Eight of Swords, but in your upcoming future, you have the Devil here. You have the Eight of Wands. Excuse me, let me move these over. I know I never do a preview. I just kind of go with it and see what happens. But unfortunately, this time I didn't quite fit everybody on here. All right. Around you is the Ten of Cups. This is like the people around you. And your heart's desire and your fears are strength. So, and then you've got the Two of Wands as the outcome. Now, I like this on the bottom of the deck. You have both the Fool and the Chariot. And boy, is that interesting, because they're both about taking leaps of faith, but they do it kind of in different ways. So we're going to talk about these guys. But I really like this. You've got some nice, you've got a nice balance of cards here. So if you had a parting of ways here with this Three of Swords, you've got, let's talk about that in a minute too. You've got air energy here. You've got Capricorn, Leo, fire, Cancer. You've got pretty much all the elements here represented. So, yeah, the only thing I don't see a lot of earth in this, but it doesn't matter that it's not here necessarily. So with the Three of Swords, this is obviously a painful card to see in a reading, right? We We know that it's about heartache. It can be about a third party. So if you know that, yeah, I had disillusionment about this person and they were cheating on me, then this is very likely for you. However, this can also be like the death of something that was close to you. So the death of a relationship, the death of security, of something where it felt very final to you. It's a very, very hurtful energy to have in a reading. But, overall too, with these clouds and the rain, this is all about kind of like feeling under the weather, feeling depressed. So you could have been in a lot of pain here, Capricorn, but you have kind of this new energy around you. And the Page of Pentacles is always bringing an offer. Now, he's a more mature page. So as far as pages go, if you're going to have a page, he's not as immature as like the Page of Swords. He's definitely here to present an offer. It's not a gigantic offer, but he's got a bit of luck too, and he's very proud. Like, see how he stands with the pentacle and he's just gazing at it. So this can be about being careful with money too. So I do feel like for some of you, you are going to be reining in some things financially, and it could be little stuff, day-to-day stuff, like maybe you decide to become, healthier. This is for somebody. You're going to be deciding you need to start eating better, and you're going to be done with the venti, Starbucks, and all that kind of stuff. And guess what? By the end of every week, you've got an extra $27 because you haven't been buying all that coffee. And, over time, you're turning that into over $100 a month that you're not spending on something consumable like coffee. Not that I'm against it, because I do enjoy it myself at times, but it's all about a new endeavor, and this relates to long term. So it can be about employment. So if you had to part ways with an employer, that definitely you're on the right track to getting a lot more options, and that's what you're doing here. So this is all about weighing your options, and you're going to have new opportunities coming in, Capricorn. I really feel like for work, that's definitely going to be the case, and financially. But I also think for love, you've got some new stuff coming in too. For some of you, it may be the return of somebody though, with the Chariot and the Fool, but we'll get to them in a minute. But I think overall, you've got many decisions that are going to be coming up sooner than later. Now, in the past, you did have a decision that was made, and I don't feel like it was in your court on either front. Okay, so for those of you that really resonate with the employment, I think you might have been terminated from a job, or it might not have been a really ugly ending, but it was just like, we're downsizing, and unfortunately that means you. We just cannot keep you. Great worker, but we just don't have the capacity to keep all these people. I feel like it was something like that. But you had to kind of forgive. So whoever it was, I do feel like they kind of blindsided you. It was sudden. You weren't expecting it, and you had to, really break free of that limited understanding of what the relationship was, what the dynamic was, and find some balance. That's what this is all about. So I think it affected a lot of people around you too. I think too, if it was a breakup, it affected a lot of people. Like, you're in similar circles, and it kind of messed up the dynamic. Not that, people think about themselves, right? And it's like, well, this really screws up all of our group dates. Well, yeah, sorry. So I think for a while you kind of held yourself hostage. You had a lot of limiting beliefs going on here, and you were just not feeling very energetic, or not really feeling like going out much. You may have had some offers. People may have been asking you out, and you just didn't want to go out with any of them because you just weren't feeling it, and that's okay too. I do think you kind of took a break from society for a bit and just kind of went within and did your own thing and got your balance again, because whatever this was, I mean, this feels a lot like a tower kind of a thing, but even though the tower is not here, that's the energy that I'm picking up on. And it was one of those things too, where you're like, well, I'm like such a good employee, or my gosh, the way I treat people, I'm always helping other people. How could this happen to me? And I got to tell you this. I got a text just now from Deepak Chopra. I get those because I'm signed up for his text, and it says, the love that you are seeking is also seeking you. So I see that as a synchronicity for some of you. If you have heartbreak, the love that you're seeking is also seeking you. That's from Deepak, though. Sometimes we work in tandem, I guess. So anyway, this does suggest, though, that there was a way out of it, and you just needed to kind of overcome some fears and feeling stuck. And it's interesting because this is all about not seeing options, and this is about seeing, 7 different options. So it's kind of an interesting duality that they are opposing cards. This is coming towards you, the devil. So it could be a Capricorn. I would say if you were dealing with a Capricorn, they're going to be on their way back. It also could be you. So it's possible that you may return to somebody or something. I do feel like there's going to be a return of something. This is the most misunderstood card in the deck, okay? And so if you are, if you have any inkling of not wanting this to represent you, that's a limiting belief, because it's really about being honest with yourself. It can also be kind of a warning not to be too overindulgent. So if in that 8 of Swords you started drinking a little too much, this is your warning that needs to end. But it still can be a symbol of like people talking about you. And in this reading, that's what I think it is. I think there's some people that are talking about you, but it's not necessarily slanderous. I think there's some people that are working to try to figure out if they can bring you back on board in some capacity, for those of you that it was a job. But I think with the X, I think they're talking to other people, trying to figure out what you're up to. If you're dating anybody, if you, may be interested in them still. But either way, it's really telling you just to kind of go with the flow, okay? Because you don't want to be chained and shackled to anybody. You want to be free. So here you are, and nothing is going to stop you with this energy. This is all about taking action. And I do feel like it's a 7 too, which is oftentimes considered to be a fortunate number in tarot. So I do feel like you have good fortune coming in big time, especially at the end with the Fool and the Chariot together. But overall, this is about moving forward regardless of obstacles. So I do think if you're focused on, I'm not worried about that old job, that old person, I'm just going to keep moving on. You are in the right mindset, and things will start to show up with great speed. The outcome might be uncertain, but you're prepared either way. And you're aware that there might be challenges, but, you are going to move forward regardless of that. So around you, though, this is what I really like. So the people around you see that too, and it's very attractive to them with this 10 of Cups. It's also the ending of a cycle, but that also means you're going to have a beginning of one. So I do think for you who have been wanting emotional satisfaction and abundance, it's headed your way. And basically the 10 of Cups is like whatever you believe or desire is what you'll get. So if your 10 of Cups is, I don't want a family, and even though if there's family represented, I don't want that, I really want a Tesla, that's your 10 of Cups. So it's all about special occasions though, and reunions, and that's where I'm getting with the Devil and this, you're going to have a reunion with somebody. I do feel like you could potentially reconcile with an ex for sure, reconcile with an employer, and maybe they keep you on as a consultant or something like that. But it's either way, it's a very subjective card, but it's all about attainment. So this is a positive card either way. So it's never negative. You could never interpret this negatively. But it's all about completion and leading into happiness and satisfaction, but you do need to have a little bit of belief in yourself. So this is like knowing that you're stronger than you thought maybe you were. And I think whatever you experienced in that 3 of Swords time in your life, you have overcome it. And you know what? You're going to survive all your worst days. You have already. You know that you can do it, and you have. So And the reason is because you have a purpose here. And your purpose is to be joyful. Life is supposed to be fun. So you've got this Two of Wands, and this, as an outcome, is kind of like you're struggling between choices. I think you're going to be apprehensive of any ex that comes back. But, as far as to work, I don't think you'll go back full time to that other place because once you got burned, you won't fully trust it, but you may accept some kind of a side thing with them where you could make a little extra money. The work will be easy for you, and you'll decide at your own pace. And you may get to the point where you go, you know what, I have other stuff I'm doing. I don't really need this. Thanks for the offer, but no thanks. Now this I absolutely love. So I love both of these cards for different reasons. Of course, the Chariot is such a strong energy. The Fool is much more whimsical. So the Fool is all about a brand new, fresh, clean slate, okay? This is a beginning again all over, and it's like you just got a very pure, fresh energy with this. So it will be a time in your life, if things have been kind of heavy and weighing on you, it will be a time in your life where you'll feel very light, like you're just wearing the world like a loose-fitting garment. The soul is always victorious. And we need to remember that, because sometimes when challenges bring contrast into our life, we get sad about them. But know that you're always going to be victorious, and you're going to be very carefree with this. So this is a card about new beginnings, trust, and enthusiasm. But with the Chariot, this just packs like this extra punch with it that is wonderful. And it's ruled by Cancer, if I didn't say that. But this is all about power and confidence and moving forward. And you will be in flow with this. It also symbolizes the mind. But I really think that whatever your heart's desire is, so if it's like with work, some of you are going to take on new work, and by probably April or May, you're going to say, this is what I've been looking for. And it will be years before you'll move again. You won't want to, and they're going to love you too. As far as an ex, I do think you're going to reconcile with somebody, but it's going to be with parameters. You're going to get a brand new, fresh, clean slate with this person, but it's going to be much more mature this time. So it's almost like an age progression with these two. You've got like the Fool, who's very kind of immature and young looking, and then the Chariot, who looks older and has stayed and steady and stable. And so I feel like this ex could be from even up to 3 years ago, something like that, where this seems like you look back at it and you go, my God, I can't believe that much time has passed. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but it has been. And they've been investing in themselves. And they're where they were before. I think maybe for some of you, they were doing too much drinking and partying and running around and stuff, and it just wasn't a mature relationship. But you're older now, wiser, and you are going to be the one who makes the decisions in this, if you want to go forward or not. But you're going to go forward with great confidence. So beautiful ending to this reading, and I so appreciate you, Capricorn. If I haven't said this before, I have a Capricorn rising, so I do appreciate you as a sign. And I love you so much, and thanks again, and I'll be back in about a week.